Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting and Learn Stage Lighting Gear. And today, we're super excited. We're looking at a brand new fixture from ADJ, technically ADJ Pro now, I think, maybe, who knows, called the Focus Spot 7Z. Let's dive in. So right off the bat, there's really a few awesome lessons we can take from this as I wrangle my cord. And the first is that, when you look across different brands, you compare different fixtures. There's no right fixture for 100% of people. But also with LEDs, we always got to remember people, wattage does not equal brightness, okay? So it is a 420 watt fixture that, more importantly, puts out about 20,000 lumens of output. That's my initial quick comparison. Okay, this is the Velux Spectra 300. It's a light that we like a lot. It's a great fixture. 300 watt LED source, around 13,000 lumens total output. This guy's, 120 watts more, so what's that? Like a 30% more? But it's twice the brightness, right? Approximately. It's almost twice the brightness. And I think we can see that here and just remember that lesson real quick that, hey, wattage does not equal brightness with LEDs, and somebody like ADJ, who's a little bit bigger, puts probably maybe a little bit more time and effort into R&D. Not that Velux is bad. We love their fixtures and they're wonderful and they hit a killer price point and they're really good. But what we're going to see here today with the Focus Spot 7Z is that it's just really in a different class in terms of everything. I popped them, I started them, they're literally in the same gobo. It's the ring of circles with a 3-facet prism on both of them. And so no, that's an 8-facet prism, but regardless, they're really, really close, but you can see the difference and see how wattage doesn't matter. Okay, so all that to say, let me clear out a couple things here and we'll dive into the review. You buy a spot moving head for a couple reasons, right? One is you want something that is bright, right? For this guy, having 420 watts of power and being only 50 pounds, which means it's really, really reasonable for somebody fairly fit like myself to lift and work with, and at least put on a case like this for a demo. And, we're going to see, first of all, intensity-wise, just like most newer LEDs, oh my goodness. I mean, look at that. From 0 and up, it's really smooth. Really smooth. I next like to look at zoom. Of course, we're in Onyx, as I often am for control, which means we're in the middle of our zoom range. And this goes from 6 degrees all the way up to 45. It does so fairly quickly. And the nice thing about having a range like that is that 6 degrees is just narrow enough that, as you can see, with a little bit of haze in the room, and it's not that hazy in here, you really get a really nice defined beam through the air. But you still have the ability to be kind of an average spot or go super wide, especially when you start to bring the prisms into this thing. I mean, look at this for a second. Say I take this and then I bring in the 2 prisms, right? Can I do both at the same time? No, I can do one at a time. And so I bring in a prism and it just gets even wider, right? And so that's really cool, really stinking amazing. But what a spot really excels at, there's a couple things you look at a spot for, okay? It's gonna move, all right? So let's talk about movement. Make sure speed is off, yeah. In terms of movement, it's really fast, but more so than the speed, I notice how quiet it is, okay? It's a really quiet fixture. Come back home, buddy. It's really quiet. As you can probably see, and you have seen, it looks good through the air. It's got a good beam through the air. And then it's going to have colors and gobos. Not any. How do I best say this? I like spot fixtures with color mixing. It makes your programming life a whole lot easier. It makes it easier to do things on the fly. It makes it easier to make impressive color chases. Color wheels have their place. They're brighter and deep colors. On less expensive fixtures, they keep the fixtures less expensive. It's a positive thing. Okay, so we've got full CMY color mixing. So that means we've got a cyan, we've got a magenta, and I'm not going to go through every feature because ADJ always does videos. They have videos on the stuff in yellow. And the crazy thing about this fixture is I'm standing next to it, and I can't hear the colors moving. Even now that it stopped moving for a minute, it just cooled down a little bit, or it quieted down its fans a little more. Everything from the startup, the homing, everything on this fixture is just like dead silent. And I think that's what sets these things apart is people go, oh, ADJ, that's a DJ brand, blah, 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 blah. But like, I would put these things in a traditional church, like a not modern worship context where it needs to be really quiet. I would put this light in a theater, not just like a community theater, but like a theater, you know, with a budget, right? And, you know, seriously, put this up against any of the theatrical brands in terms of color, in terms of quality, in terms of quietness. I would put it on a corporate event where, you know, I needed it to shoot from 25 feet in the air across a room and be bright and punchy. And so a spot like this with about 20,000 lumens, actually, let's leave it in yellow. Let's mix up something nice. Do like a nice amber. Since we got tons of light in here, that'll work well. And then let's just start to look at the gobos. So I'm going to bring my zoom back to the middle. Bring in my first gobo. So we have some stars. We have one that looks nice in haze. And one of the gobo wheels rotates. It is this one. So let me just dial that in a little better. Okay, so we've got a variety of gobos like this one. Looks awesome in haze. I'm actually going to chill out on the magenta a little bit to make it a little bit easier to see. And then I'm also going to tilt it down, and then we'll go through the gobos so you can see them really good. Okay, so the gobos through the air have a really nice beam to them. You can see that. This is the rotating wheel, the first wheel at least. Looks like both wheels rotate, which is awesome. So, dots. Nice line one that looks like a laser through the air. Flower. 3 triangles. X. Circles. And done. And if we go to the other wheel, it's fairly in focus for air stuff. These ones are definitely more graphical, right? But this one looks stinking cool in the air, and they rotate as well too. How stinking cool is that? So both wheels rotate. That's not something you see much. There's a cool rainbow one, so let me actually get rid of the color so you can really see that one pop through the air. It's kind of nuts, but it looks cool. Like I mentioned, second gobo wheel is definitely gonna be something that looks a little bit better on surfaces, right? So if I take this and whip it around, woo! This is like a crazy stained glass gobo, and then we'll just zoom it up so we can see it really good. Awesome, so that's wide zoom. We'll attempt to focus it while it's spinning like crazy. That's a bad idea. Boom, right there. Awesome. So, gobo-wise, again, that is the second rotating wheel right there. And then, ooh, we have an animation wheel. Yes, I know these are spinning like nuts, so let me slow that down a little bit. And then they all have gobo shake, not that I ever use that because I don't. Other gobo wheel. Let's actually morph between the two just for fun. So gobo morph is when you go from one gobo to another, one wheel to another. There they go, looks pretty clean. And then I'll be focused on this one wheel pretty nice, and get rid of this wheel. You can see gobo wheel 1 gobos. Then there's also an animation wheel, which, when combined with gobos or whatnot, can make some really stinking cool stuff. I'm going to pop that in and let it spin. There it is. And from the picture, at least, okay, so at this zoom and this distance, it's not quite focusable, but it would be a fire or water type animation wheel. See if I can get a little bit more distance, run over some cables, if that helps at all. Not really. So definitely at this point in the lens, it's not able all the way wide to quite focus, but I brought it in a little bit, focuses up great, looks epic in the air, looks really nice, and then that animation wheel will just go round and round forever and ever. So like if I do that with the flower, and then I start to go ahead and adjust my focus, I'm going to see how you can do some cool stuff, just layering the two. Like if you take the gobo and then you start kind of blurring out, you end up with kind of gobo in motion. So, what are my thoughts? Colors, there's also color temp wheel, also color wheel, including a high CRI filter, which is cool. Yay, they do that. So, in terms of this fixture, who is it good for? What is it good for? This is a really good light for kind of general spot production use, okay? If you don't need framing shutters, you don't need the weight, or you want the extra features like an animation wheel that a lot of framing shutter fixtures may take out, or they may take out a second gobo wheel, so you don't need framing shutters. You're looking for a fixture that's throwing anywhere from 30 feet to 50 or 60 feet. And you're looking for something that can do some beam looks, can definitely give you a tight beam, give you some beamy effects, but also give you a full suite of gobo wheels, be able to project on surfaces, color mix, just a really versatile, all-around, high-performance spot type fixture. Then you should probably look at the Focus Spot 7Z. I would not discount it because it has the ADJ name on it. It's a really nice fixture. I would say I would not hesitate to put this head-to-head with a lot of the other brands that we can get on the market that are kind of the more professional or theatrical brands. I just would not hesitate to put this up against them. It's a real nice fixture. It does everything well and quietly and smoothly. And it meets, photometrics. We always shoot fixtures with a photometer or a spectrometer, sorry, fancy light meter, and check them to their specs. It matches up the specs given by the manufacturer. All in all, if you're looking for a fixture to kind of shoot those kind of distances, give you a really good look, you don't need framing shutters, then I would look at the Focus Spot 7Z. Is it the cheapest thing that you're going to find at that price? No. But it's really well refined, and the features inside, the way things work, how smoothly things interact with each other, the fan noise level is absurdly quiet. When you add all that together, you start to go, okay, now I can see why you might get into a fixture like this. So if you're interested in it, you want quoting on multiples, whatever, hey, head over to LawrenceDigitalLightingGear.com. We've got this fixture and we've got so much else, and we would love to help you find the best need for what you're doing, or the best solution for your needs, no matter what it is in lighting. If that sounds good, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.